holding me down and holding me down. You're killing me slow, so slow. Oh, I feel like I'm drowning. I'm drowning. My life's okay, yeah. Just when you're not around me. My life's okay. Just when you're not around me.
All right, today is Tuesday, July 12th, and today, after days of trolling everyone on Facebook, about the whole globe thing, you guys are like sitting there. A lot of globe heads are crying, trying to make sense of them just finding out that the globe is not a map. Very hilarious. Watching everyone fall apart. Because that information is something that I figured out a long time ago by myself. Okay, way before Flat Earth versus Fear Earth groups were even invented. Alright? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're also going to talk a little bit about science again. Because I have to keep like reminding everyone. As we can see right here, this is a nice little quote from a fictitious person of all people. In a book. in a book of fiction. So it says, this is Arthur Conan Doyle, and that's the Sherlock Holmes author. And his quote was from one of the characters in the book. When you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Now that's something he took, because you guys could look that up yourselves, as I could easily go down and see. A lot of people don't like this quote, because it destroys a lot of pseudoscience and a lot of the people that believe, the pseudo-intellectuals, that believe in the pseudoscience. So we could see the truth, okay? The truth hurts, alright? For everyone that's talking about you guys are into science, and you're into truth, and you're into seeking truth, and you're into, and you know a lot about science, it's funny because most of you are expecting truth to back you up. You're expecting truth to reinforce what you believe. That's what you're doing. Matter of fact, most of you that are begging flurfs, you're out there begging the flat earthers. Alright? Why are you begging the flat earthers? Because you're bothered by the truth. You're bothered by the truth. Alright? Now, I've said it over in many other videos. The truth is not your friend. The truth is not... It is your friend, but it's not kind to you. Alright? The truth is not... truth and science don't sit around and they're like, oh, here comes Simon, and now that he's here, we're going to give him an award. And we're going to give him, this trophy. And we're going to give him a gift card. And we're going to pay his rent for a year. And because he found the truth. No, it doesn't work like that. I've said it over and over. But when you realize the truth, okay, the truth is more like a slap to the face. It's like you're sitting there being dormant and you get punched. Right? You're not watching, you're not looking, and someone just sucker punches you. That's truth. Because, the truth doesn't necessarily have to coincide with your beliefs. It doesn't have to reinforce your beliefs. And the majority of the time, it doesn't. So, although this is a quote, and there's tons of quotes that are, come in the form of the truth hurting. And they are in all aspects of life, from relationships to, to science experimentation. So, the truth hurts. Don't come to my channel expecting to find something that's going to reinforce your fallacious belief system. because that is not what's going to happen here. What's going to happen is you're going to come here, and your fallacies and your lies and your misconceptions and your misbeliefs and your misinterpretations are all going to be eliminated. All right. As we can see, the process of elimination is a logical method to identify an entity of interest among several ones by excluding all other entities. In educational testing, it is a process of deleting options whereby the possibility of an option being correct is close to zero or significantly lower compared to other options. It works great on tests. Shit. I mean, a good portion of the VDV and the fire life safety that had to take, they were state proctored at state facilities. And matter of fact, the bar exam is taken there. I was sitting when I walked into the examination. The examination facility, they pat you down. You have to go dressed in. They tell you to go dressed in sweats without, not holding any pockets. They make sure you don't go in there with something you're going to cheat, and you're on video, and you're working away from you. You're working apart from everyone else. They'll give you like the bar exam. They gave them like two. There was about four bar examinees. And they had, and each one of those, they had 2 large picnic tables full of books, as they took the bar exam, the bar examination, the test. And me, I only had one small table to get through the VDV, and then the fire life safety was a little bit more. The fire life safety is a little bit more important, I would say, because it deals with fire and, of course, life safety, and how electronics and technology catch on fire due to electrostatic discharge. So, moving into the process of elimination, like I said, it worked great on my test. I passed all those tests. I passed the VDV 3 times. I passed the fire life safety twice. I'm more than competent. I know all the codes. All right. So this whole process of elimination is not only a logical method, it's a workable method, and it's used throughout science and basic life. All right. Applying the process of elimination in your life will only lead you to positive results. All right. Now you're like, okay, but what does this have to do with all this? Okay, so now that we've now that we've already established that the truth is going to hurt you, I'm ready to actually hurt your feelings. All right, so here we go. It's a simple question. Everyone could easily ask Google or Bing or any of the search engines, DuckDuckGo, whatever. I don't care. Why isn't the globe Earth model a map? It's so funny. I trolled you guys for days in a row with this shit, man. That's hilarious. Thousands of you guys are upset with me right now. And it's something that's not even, it didn't come from me. This is like mainstream science. Why isn't the globe Earth model a map? Okay? You could easily go down. Other people asked it. Why is a globe the true model of Earth not a map? Why is a globe not considered a perfect map? It goes on and on. Okay? It's an easy question that anyone can answer. I mean, anyone can ask. And then go about to find the answer. So as we go down, one of them, the very first one on the top, Vox.com, all maps are wrong. On The Verge, okay, Google Maps now depicts it as a globe. So that's CGI. Okay, the toy globe is not workable, so they're using CGI. Finally, a world map that doesn't lie. Okay, your mental map of the world is wrong. National Geographic. Maps and globes. Students, Britannica kids. A globe can show a planet without distortion because of its rounded shape, although Earth, as well as most other planets, is not a perfect sphere. So, right there from Britannica.com, we're seeing that they're admitting that the toy globe that they show to children and to you globetards that can't get over this childish nonsense, okay, it has been wrong all along. They're saying, according to mainstream science, it is not perfect sphere but bulges a bit in the middle. We could go and check that. That came as a prediction. Easily I could predict that that's what it was going to say because I've read this before. Not necessarily on Britannica.com, but I've read this before in many places. Okay. And you can go off and read all this on your own. But what I wanted to show was specifically the last two sentences of this paragraph that we're looking at right here. It says, a globe can show a planet without distortion because of its rounded shape, although Earth, as well as most other planets, is not a perfect sphere but bulges a bit at the equator. However, people use globes less often than maps because their bulk and greater cost. That is a weak excuse, but as you guys can see, if the toy globe was to be accurate according to your own mainstream science and your own mainstream calculations and blah blah blah, all this nonsense that you guys point at, okay, you guys have failed already. I've debunked everything already, just simply right there, because you guys lied to yourself. All right, you lied to yourself. Now right here it says it bulges a bit at the equator, right? That's what it says right there. Neil deGrasse Tyson it said something completely different. Okay. Now we'll go to space.com. And according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, Earth is not a perfect sphere. Rather, it is oblate like a pear. Okay? He says it's a bit chubbier on the bottom. Let me see if we can find where he says that. We'll find it right now. Is chubbier on the bottom. So Neil deGrasse doesn't know his shapes. Oblate spheroid of a circular dimension. Okay, first off, if Earth's shape was a little bit chubbier on the bottom, as he suggested, that would make it a prolate spheroid, not an oblate spheroid. A prolate spheroid is the shape of an egg. Oblate means flattened at the poles. Okay? So, this is something that everyone knows he said. He went off and said that. Now, we're going to go back up to where... Okay? Now, according to Britannica, they're saying that it's not a prolate sphere. It is not chubbier on the bottom. It is not like a pear or an egg. Okay? They're saying that it's oblate and it's bulgier in the middle. This is hilarious shit. Now you guys must be asking now by now, wait a minute, none of this makes sense, Simon. How, okay, if this is all true, then how did they go about traveling across the oceans and all that? And that's a simple question you guys could have asked also on the, of these search engines. And this is a simple one. You just put in the Mercator map versus the globe. And it says the Mercator projection distorts the size of objects as the latitude increases from the equator to the poles. The Mercator projection was designed for use in marine navigation because its unique feature represents any ship course of permanent bearing as a straight segment. Okay? So the map that they were using to travel all this time has been the Mercator map. And the maps that the Mercator map was actually formed from are based off of. Okay? So the globe has never been a map. Alright? This is something that like, I trolled you guys for days in a row, and instead of any of you just simply going off back and double checking, triple checking your own potential fallacies, okay, you would rather sit there and cling to your stupid beliefs, your stupid fallacies. Okay, you guys were clinging to a toy globe that's not correct, even under your own stupid Globus standards. All right. So although they say, yeah, it's perfect for you to travel across the oceans, but the land masses are different. All right. And there's that NationalGeographic.com, Why Your Mental Map of the World is Wrong. That's a 2018 article. I suggest you guys read it. Matter of fact, just look up why are maps all wrong. Now here's something that's gonna probably blow a lot of your guys' minds away, is that you have never mapped out reality. Do you understand that? Not you, not me, not anyone. None of us have gone out and mapped out and measured all reality. To even assume or to think that anyone has is pretty fucking naive and gullible. That is very stupid. Okay? You got Americans. You expect Americans to go around China and Russia and measuring their country? Knock that shit off. The fuck is wrong with you people? Okay? Use your heads. For fuck's sake. So as we can see that the most accurate world map projection. So now we have the orthograph. This one's totally weird. This one just shows that everything twisted. Okay. Now, if you ask anyone, do they use the orthograph map to travel, to navigate? They say no. Is the Mercator map the best map? The most popular projection is the Mercator projection. The Mercator projection was created in 1569 by Gerardus Mercator for navigational purposes and became popular because it shows relative sizes accurately and is useful for navigation. It's a flat map. No curvature on that shit. Alright? Now, Gerardus Mercator, okay, he was not an astronaut. He didn't go up to the moon and look back down. Okay? He didn't jump on a rocket. Alright? So, he didn't have the technology that you have right now. He didn't have Google. He didn't have access to, to real life records rather than CGI and government propaganda. Alright? So Gerardus Mercator, he went out and made a map based off of records that he was able to compile that actually worked for people to navigate. Alright? Did any of you globeheads do that? No, you didn't. You know what you did? You sat around clinging to a stupid toy globe that has been just debunked right now. Easily. Been contradicted all the way around. From Neil deGrasse Tyson to Britannica.com. Now, why is it so important that they lie? You're like this, so they're lying. Yes, they're lying. Big wow. That's not hard to understand, that governments lie. All right. Now, geography, believe it or not, you guys, It's something that's actually important in terms of military wars. Okay? Not just military, but all types of transactions. So we have maritime law, also known as admiralty law, is a body of laws, conventions, and treaties that govern private maritime business and other nautical matters, such as shipping or offenses occurring on open water. International rules governing the use of oceans and seas are known as the law of the sea. Okay? So, maritime law is something that goes all the way back. Now, if you guys have been following the channel, you guys know everything comes in a loop. I always loop everything back. All roads lead to Rome, and then Rome leads all the way to ancient Egypt and Babylon. The Canaanites of the Bible, the Phoenicians of the historical documents. Like I've said, these are the same. That's the same people. So, maritime and admiralty law was first documented at the time of ancient Egypt to fill a very real need in the civilized world. In order for trade to flourish, ships needed to be able to travel from port to port with a reasonable expectation of safety and fair trade. Okay? And the reason why this is important is because, if you're out in free water, you know what I mean? You're out in your open water, you're out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You're not bound to American United States laws. You're not bound to Russian laws. You're beyond all those sovereign borders. You're out in the middle of the water. You could literally kill someone if you wanted to, which is why pirates exist. Literally, pirates exist because of this. All right. Now this goes all the way back over there. Now, believe it or not, the whole Globus concept, making the globe itself a piece of matter, a piece of a shape, a form. All right, giving that form some type of importance. They're like, okay, and you put that in and then you literally compare that to all, according to this, to all the celestial spheres. Okay, now all the celestial spheres I've explained are literally what they're showing, floating on flatness. Here's where, like, you globeheads cannot escape the flatness. The flatness comes and catches you no matter what. All right, the flatness comes and gets you no matter what. So space-time is supposedly flat, and the only time space-time is not flat is when there's matter in the middle of somewhere and then it curves, according to mainstream science. But without any matter, space-time is flat. The universe is flat. That's what they say. So, as you can see right here, scientificamerican.com, what do you mean the universe is flat? And so, and then again right there it says it can't be. Einstein's general relativity says that matter and energy curve space-time. So it's only when there's matter involved that and it's exactly like that meme that I posted, that I made, where Einstein said, space-time was flat but stretchy, like a fabric. But Isaac Newton and Newtonian principles claimed that that time and space was upon a table, like a billiards table. Matter of fact, the majority of Newtonian physics and classical mechanics is based on billiards. Believe it or not, that's why billiards was considered a sport for intellectual people, because it comes back down to physics, basically. And so they've always claimed that, and if you look at all the cartoons of all the planets floating around the sun, they're on a plane, they're on a flat disc. All right, now you're like, okay, get to the point, Simon. You're like, this is getting too long. Okay, so the point is this: according to maritime and admiralty law, which came from the ancients, that are ancient Globus worshippers, okay, Earth is lost at sea. It is a ship lost at sea. Okay? The Globus itself is one big ship which is why in science they have, oh yeah, that's the mothership. Science, sci-fi movies, that's the mothership, and that's the mother planet, and that's all of that comes back to this. Everything about Star Trek, Star Wars, those are ships, and they're on voyages. Okay, Star Trek is about the Enterprise, the USS Enterprise, and that is, I mean, not the USS, but the Enterprise. So the Enterprise is a ship. They refer to it as a ship. It is ran by a captain, and it is operated by a crew under the direction of that captain. All right. Now, I've explained about Captain Cook. You're like, oh, here's where I'm going to start talking about. Okay, if all the celestial spheres are on discs, flat plane discs. Okay, and we'll go to the images of this. As we can see right there, these are all good examples of the point I'm making. All right. Okay. Is these right here. Okay, I just explained. Only when matter and mass is involved does the flat space-time get curvy. Beyond that, it is flat. As we clearly see in all these depictions, there is an edge to all of this. All right, there's an edge to all of this. Not only there edge, but there's these like small, weird, concentrated parts. Like the black hole, which spaghettifies things. Now, whereas like looking at this image that I just tapped right there, the sun, the neutron star, and the black hole. The black hole is like stretching down. Where is it stretching down? Why is the flat space-time like exactly like I said? Why is it like a table or Einstein says like a flat, stretchy fabric? Now, according to the Big Bang, this would all be expanding. This whole flat space-time would be expanding. But it has a 13.8 billion year old edge, according to what you guys believe. So here's what I'm saying. The way it's funny, the way you globeheads were like attacking flat earthers, talking about the edge. The edge of supposedly of the flat earth. But yet, here's where you have to try to explain the edge to your flat, stretchy space-time. Or unless you're Einsteinian, and believe in classical mechanics only, the edge to your time and space. All right? It's real simple to look at this, okay? It's real simple to look at these pictures and see. And some of you are like, no, that just doesn't, that's not depicting an edge. Okay, then what would be depicting an edge? Where would this end? And there's that whole spaghettification crap. So stupid. Look at this depiction right here. Where is that NASA ship going? It's going down into where? Hell? Show me your edge, globetards. It's so stupid. All right. So, as we could clearly see, I just easily, okay. So let's recap. The truth hurts. The process of elimination works. Okay, your toy globe was eliminated. It's not a map. First of all right. It doesn't work. You can't put it in a vacuum. And for you to claim that a vacuum chamber is not the same as outer space vacuum, okay, then what would contain the vacuum of outer space? You're like, oh, it wouldn't okay, if that's the case, then the universe being so big would have a vacuum so tremendously huge, it would suck up the atmosphere of all planets. Okay? There would be no planets. Okay, nothing would have formed in a vacuum. I could easily open a vacuum chamber, throw a bunch of crap in there, and turn it and turn it on. Throw a fucking firecracker or some fireworks in that bitch. Okay? Make your own little, Large Hadron Collider. Smash some particles up in that bitch. See what happens. Okay? Nothing's gonna form. Alright? Nothing's gonna form. Nothing's gonna float. Nothing's gonna hold water and spin it. Alright? You have no vacuum chamber proofs. You have no vacuum proofs then. Your toy globe is totally useless. It's unworkable. It's useless. It spins dry each time. And you guys are like, no, it was too small for any of that to work. Okay? I could easily show big, large, balls, used wrecking balls. All right? You don't see them attracting mass around them. All right? You're like, well, it needs to be in a vacuum. And we went over this. You don't have a vacuum. That's a story that you're telling because you've seen it on TV. All right? That's bullshit. All right? So it doesn't hold water, it doesn't spin. Then you have Curry's law. According to Curry's law, and which we can test over and over, extreme temperature kills electromagnetism all the way around. Okay, I could put a lighter flame to a magnet for less than 15 seconds. That magnet will no longer work. Okay. Now you could try to grab molten iron and spin it around in a ball somehow. It'll never create it'll never create an electromagnetic field because of Curry's law. So therefore, you can't fill up your toy globe, even if you could somehow contain some type of molten iron inside your stupid toy globe. A compass would not work around it. All right? No magnets would work around it. No, any magnet you would put next to it would lose its magnetism. Really simple, right? So it doesn't work electromagnetically. Molten iron doesn't create any type of magnetic field, electromagnetic field. Okay, so it's not a map. It doesn't work as your big imaginary globe supposedly works. Okay, you can't test any of that. So if you can't falsify something, okay, if you can't attempt to falsify, then it is not science. This is all a big belief. Okay, a big belief based on some stupid toy that doesn't work, that isn't a map. Never was a map. Okay? Now this truth might, it might hurt you or sting you right now. But trust me, once you let go of it and fully comprehend that that toy was a product sold in order to indoctrinate the masses, then you'll and then look, it used to be part of the cross. All right? Globus Crusader. Okay, it used to be part of the cross. The orb and cross. The Globus Crusader. The cross represents Christ's dominion over the orb of the world, literally held in hand of an earthly ruler. The iconography of Western art, when Christ himself holds the globe, he is called Salvator Mundi, meaning Savior of the world. All right? Holding the world in one's hand, or more ominously under one's foot, has been a symbol since antiquity. The citizens of the Roman Empire, the plain spherical globe held by the god Jupiter, represented the world or the universe, as the dominion held by the emperor. A second century coin from the reign of Emperor Hadrian shows the Roman goddess Salus with her foot upon a globus. And Salus, by the way, is tied to salt, sal, salary, money, maritime law, Egyptian shit. The Orbis Terrarium, which was central to the iconography of Tetrarchy, in which it represented Tetrarch's restoration of security to the Roman world. So what happened is that Constantine decided to merge the old Roman belief of the globus with the cross of Christianity. Hence, we have the Globus Crusader. All right? So on top of it not working scientifically, on top of it not being a map, it is definitely tied to a belief system, an ancient belief system. to the point where these ancients did not have the technology that you have today nowadays. Okay, they didn't have the P900 or any of that. They didn't have the Nikon super zoom camera. They didn't have any of that. They didn't have Google. They didn't have Google search. They didn't have like quick, easy access to, you know, real life records compiled by real life people. They didn't have any of that. All right. So don't tell me that your little stupid toy globe is something that we should all bow down to. All right. The truth is, that stupid toy globe is shit, and you need to accept it because science said so. Do you guys even science, bro?